So I've been thinking about this for a while now, and I think Luffy needs one more power up to beat Shanks. Gear 5 is powerful enough, but there seems like there's another stage beyond that Luffy hasn't achieved. Even though we know it's his peak, I feel there's something else, and I thought I'd throw out this idea because I thought it was fun. Also, it a lot of things line up, like a lot of things line up for this, but again, it's could be all speculation, but also now that we know that stupid evil Shanks theory is confirmed, I feel like anything's possible. For the final saga of One Piece, there are three main bosses in my opinion: Blackbeard, the Gorosei, and Emu. And we know we need to find a different way to defeat them because of the Gorosei and Emu on Egghead Island. Because they regenerated, Luffy said he literally couldn't do anything and then ran off. I mean, even using hockey, it wasn't temporary. It was like a quick regeneration. You would have to perform like some shell shit if you wanted to go that way, which is not what they're gonna do in my opinion. But I guess for Blackbeard, it's not as much, but I think it's kind of lame if for the final villain, probably the final villain, to not have something else besides hockey be the reason you defeat him. So I came up with a different idea, which I think is more fun, and also it fits really well. All three of them are related and connected to shadows or darkness in some way, either whether it's Blackbeard where it's just a devil fruit, or it's the Gorosei where because it's literally demonic circles in the black clouds, and then Imu literally contorts to being a shadow when he attacks. And I feel besides them, the person most associated with their shadow, even more I would think, is Nika. Nika has been associated with his shadow ever since he's been introduced. During Skypiea, when the Drum Deliberation played, we saw Luffy's shadow. In Wano, when Who's Who was mentioning it to Jinbei, we only saw his shadow. When the Gorosei were introducing him, we only saw his shadow. When Vegapunk was talking about Luffy during the Rob Lucci fight, we saw his shadow. And even during Vegapunk's flashback with the party, we still saw his shadow even when it wasn't needed. They still put it there. All this to say is that these four characters clearly are connected to shadows very clearly. And I think the key to beating the final antagonist is using their own shadows against them. Going this way, I think Luffy could just become the Nika's shadow himself, and it calls back to the past while also moving forward into the future. He'd be kind of like a 1920s cartoon, in my opinion, because you could have like a jazzy drums deliberation. It could also kind of be like how Goku found his own Ultra Instinct, and how Luffy could find his own version of Gear 5. Because at this point, we're assuming that the Nika we've seen so far is the Nika that has been seen throughout all of history. So for Luffy to have his own creation would be pretty fun in my opinion. Based on Luffy's naming conventions, I think it would be called Reverse Gear, being the only one left, and Luffy saying Gear 5th was his peak. It also lines up with what the form is, an inversion of the progress Luffy has made so far.